Hi YouTube. Did you miss me?
No.
Today's video is going to be about my 5 favorite PlayStation 1 and PlayStation 2 video games. And I say 5 because I could only think of 5. I didn't want to put a video game on this list and it wasn't really my go-to favorite. By now y'all should already know I'm all about nostalgia on this channel. So we're finna dive back into my childhood and we're finna just enjoy the nostalgia. Those of you born in like the late 90s, grew up in the early 2000s like me, or even earlier, you should already be familiar with some of these games and you should be familiar with the PlayStation, which by the way, do you like my shirt?
Ooh. That was really stupid.
Alright, let's get right to it. The first video game on this list, and y'all, let me take a moment to breathe because this is very personal to me. This game is my literally entire childhood. Crash Bandicoot. Crash Bash in particular. Oh man, it was only right that I put this video game first on this list because Crash Bandicoot was a huge part of my childhood growing up. I grew up playing the PlayStation 1 and PlayStation 2 with my little brother, and let me first say that we had a weird dynamic growing up. Or not weird, but like it wasn't like other siblings that might have played together, because I'm the oldest, but I was always second player and he was always first player, and it was never an argument. That's kind of just the way that's what worked for us. That was our dynamic. We like playing like that. And his favorite character was Tiny, and my favorite character still to this day is Coco Bandicoot. I like the original model where she has the overalls and she looks more like a kid, and she always had her pink laptop. So, yeah, Crash Bandicoot, was a big part of my childhood, and, my other 2 favorites in particular are the Wrath of Cortex and Crash Bandicoot Warped, which actually, one of the initial release dates, was the day that I was born, which is November 4th, 1998, so how cool is that? The Crash Bash, some of my particular favorite levels were, well, I know they broke it down, like, on adventure mode, so, like, I know there was, like, for the first, like, part of it, because there was, like, 4 different sections, if you remember. You know what I'm talking about if you play this game. I know Jungle Bash was one, Snow Bash was one. Y'all know I love Christmas and I'm very festive. I said that a lot on this channel. I also love Space Bash, and it was very satisfying, like when you would, like when the red or green crates would explode and it would cause like the squares on the ground to like go down and then you could fall in there. Like it was the coolest thing ever. This game was off the walls amazing. This video game was a big part of my childhood, and again, even for the other characters, I love a lot of the original models, like before like Crash of the Titans and Crash Mind Over Mutant, when they kind of changed them up a little bit, and even like the new game, the Insane Trilogy, and the other parts of the series that kept going, which I'm excited they're still making Crash Bandicoot games. However, I really think that the original models will always be the most classic and my favorites, like for even like Cortex, even like I like when he's a little shrimp versus now they got him like a little taller, his head's a little longer. Like it's weird. What I didn't like were like when the gems and the crystals come up, how they get harder. But what I do love about the crystal levels in particular for this Crash Bash particular game was like there were always like alternate versions of particular levels, like on the one when the tilt panic, I think it's called, when the thing was tilting and they're on the white polar bears. I like how it was like thunderstorming and it was like it was nighttime and the ice that they were on was like a purple hue. I just like how it looks, and the music was always like different. Or like on Jungle Bash, it was like this weird thing throwing the green crates. Y'all remember that? And you have to like run and try to keep it from killing you, and the crates would only come at you, it wouldn't come at the other characters. Like I always loved that. Like it was like an alternate world and it was always like darker and more sinister, but I like that for some weird reason. I don't know. Even on Crash Bandicoot Warped, when Coco's on her tiger, and the Midnight Run level, and it's dark outside versus the original when it's daytime. I don't know, I like stuff like that because the mood is different, the music's different, it's a little more, it's kind of creepy, but I like it. I don't know, it's weird. I don't know, that might just be me though. But yeah, I personally love levels like that. I just don't like how they get more complex as you get to, you know, the other gems. This entire series really. And I also really loved Crash Tag Team Racing, Crash Team Racing, Crash Nitro Kart, Crash Twinsanity. It kind of sucks because I haven't played this game in so many years. I currently don't have any type of PlayStation console or even Xbox or Wii, but hopefully I can find one. Maybe somebody will be selling it online somewhere. I can buy it just for the nostalgia, and I'll purchase all the games online because I know they don't sell them in stores no more, and I'll literally just play it for my own nostalgic satisfaction. Who knows? We'll see. I'll keep you guys posted. Up next, we got Ratchet and Clank, the first one, but I also really love the second one too. This is another one me and my brother really grew up playing quite a bit. We didn't have as many Ratchet and Clank games as all the Crash Bandicoot games that I named, but we had a good maybe 4 or 5, and we loved all of them. But my personal favorite was always the first one, but I also really loved the second one too, even though I never even finished that game. But the first one, I think we got pretty far. And one of my favorite levels was the one when I can't remember the name of it, but I know after you jump on like all the obstacles and the moving doors and stuff, and you get to the very top, and then you cross and you see the fat girl named Helga, and she was doing jumping jacks, so she had the 2 pigtails, and she tried to harass them and tell them that their display on the obstacle was like horrible or something. And then Captain Cork, like, yes, I really love the mood and aesthetic of the first game and the second one too. Like I said about the Crash game, like I'm all about like when I play video games, and I love how like it looks and how it makes me feel, and that gets me more in tune with the game. And they had some really interesting levels that had some really nice, quirky, interesting looks. Like it was fun playing it growing. The third game on this list is Sonic Heroes, and I really love this game because this is one of the older ones. It's not as old as some of the really old ones, but it's still pretty old because I was a kid when this came out. And I loved how it always felt like a party when me and my brother played this game. And I love how each character had like, it was teams of 3 for all the characters. And I know Amy Rose was always my favorite Sonic character in like the entire series, and I was always her and on her team. She had like the big purple guy, and then what is the little yellow one's name? Peaches and Cream or something? Y'all know what I'm talking about. No, but I grew up playing Sonic also on the little, like, we go back in the Sega Genesis days, only because my parents, really though, because there was this little I know I had the Game Boy Advance in the picture here. That's not actually mine, I found that on Google, but that's what mine used to look like. I had a purple one, and we used to play it on there too. But it was this little black little Sega Genesis thing that we used to have, and I would play it on there too. And I remember I used to always like get scared and I would cry when I was a little kid. And I would play it because it was one of the really old Sonic games. It was this little red thing that used to come up and kill me, and I used to hate that, and it would scare me as a kid for some reason. But yeah, I grew up playing Sonic, and this was just always one of my favorites. And yeah, this is an awesome video. Not to mention, who didn't also play Sonic on the little Sega Genesis thing? And it would be the one in particular, I think it's Sonic the Hedgehog 2, the special arenas, where it would be Sonic and Tails like running through the little loop thing, and you gotta catch the rings and you can flip. That was one of my favorites too growing up. Game number 4 is Rayman. And I feel like I'm one of the few 90s babies that like really remember this game. They had this on Game Boy Advance also, but I remember playing it on the PS console as well. I can't remember if this was PS1 or PS2. I think it was PS1. It might have been 2 though. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comments though. But those who remember this game, you should know what I'm talking about. Yeah, I loved this game growing up. And Ray is also my middle name. And I remember one of the levels in particular I really remember playing was the one where, I don't know what he was or what you would call him, but it was that thing where he had the long nose and he would fly and he would try to like sting you, and you had to like wound him. And then once you wounded him and got him on the ground and it was crying, Rayman would come up and pet it, and then they became friends or something. And now it started like flying Rayman around through like the levels, and now they were like helping each other. Like, it was weird, but I remember one of those levels. And yeah, this was just a fun game to play, and this was another one of those games where the aesthetic really made me like feel some kind of way when I was playing it, and that was something that really drew me to it. I mainly played this game on the Game Boy Advance console though, but I loved it all around in general though. This is definitely one of my favorite games, and why I had to include it on this list, because it definitely brings me great nostalgia. And y'all, finally, game number 5 is Grand Theft Auto San Andreas. This is one of my favorite GTA games, and a little backstory, because we also had quite a bit of these growing up. We also had the Grand Theft Auto, I think it was 4, that was on the PS3 console, and that was one of my favorites too, but I couldn't put it on this list because it's not part of the PS1 PS2 era. But yeah, San Andreas is always one of my favorites, as well as Grand Theft Auto 3 and Vice City. Oh my god, and the music at that time for these particular games was everything. And even the music that they used to use by like real artists like Genuine and Bobby Brown and R. Kelly. I remember like they played all those good songs on these old Grand Theft Auto games. The real 90s babies know what I'm talking about. My ass didn't even care about actually doing the missions and like the actual gameplay in the long run. I used to always just simply enjoy running people over, shooting people. And I know in Grand Theft Auto 4, specifically for the PS3, y'all remember that gun that was like I don't know what they call it in real life, but like, you should know what I'm talking about when I explain it. Like the gun that would like shoot out the bomb and it would explode when it hit something, and it would shoot really far. That was my favorite gun to shoot at people, because when it would hit somebody, their body would just fly so far in the air, and I would laugh so hard. Like, it was the best thing ever. If I run people over and I purposely get the car in like great speed before I hit somebody, and their body would just fly so far. Or like when you would hit people driving on motorcycles and their body would just fly off of it. Like, that was my favorite thing to do. I think it was like a special, I don't know if it was like a special like level or cheat code. Me and my brother used to look up certain things, but like it was like this little alternate part of the game. Or it might have been a glitch or something where you could, or no, it was a two-player mode, I think they had on San Andreas, where you could get like, you could be the main black boy named CJ, and then you could be like somebody else too. And they had a few different characters, but I remember one, it was this girl that had short hair and she had on like a black top and a black skirt or something. I used to call her Gangster Teresa, but I don't know what the real game character's name was. That was my name for her. That's what we used to call her. Don't ask. And that does it for this video. I hate this video was kind of short, but again, I only had 5 different video games. I didn't have 20. So but I'm gonna keep the series going. Next, I might do something like my favorite, maybe like my top 5 or top 10 singles, not albums, just singles from albums. Or I might do like my favorite singles from like the Millennium era, 99 to like 2001 or something, because I love that futuristic era. Or I might even do something like some of my favorite movies of all time. I don't know. I'm gonna just keep it going. I want to keep it interesting for you guys, those of you who do love to sit here and hear me talk. As always, I will see you in the next one. Bye.